And Olowokandi did not see the foul there. Tinsley being watched by McGinnis. 7 on the shot clock. Here's Bender, who rises. Elton Brand on the boards with Brad Miller, 2 former teammates with the Chicago Bulls. Piatkowski working the ball around, the 7-footer Olowokandi. And there is the call being made by official Jason Phillips. And it's a foul called on Miller, so he gets his first. Miller did foul out of last night's game in the 33 minutes he played, but before doing so, hit 9 of his 13 shots, 21 points, 9 rebounds, and a couple of block shots. And his presence certainly got Jermaine O'Neal the shots, 21 of them. It was just an off night for Jermaine.
That's what Brad is going to do. He's going to bring an inside presence as a legitimate center that the Pacers haven't had.
3 Pacers on Elton Brand there, who's the best offensive rebounder in the NBA, and Indiana gets the ball back. Pacers trying to put it together down the stretch. This is their 55th game of the season. They have lost 5 out of 6. Now Reggie Miller rejoins the team and playing for the first time with the 3 new Pacers. Miller tries to save as he goes down, and we have had a very ugly start here in the first 2.5 minutes. 2 teams that could put points on the board, and all we have is a field goal from each. Jeff McGinnis out of North Carolina being peppered by Tinsley, and in low, Joe Forte nails Brad Miller with a foul, and already Miller has his 2nd personal, and he will be heading to the bench.
The Clippers really look like they're trying to establish the inside game right off the bat and really trying to get Brad Miller in foul trouble early.
And Miller thought that he took the first shot from Elton Brand. So now Jeff Foster is in, and Miller to the bench 3 minutes into the game. The rejection by O'Neal. The Clippers had 15 block shots against Indiana, and they're 5 by Olowokandi. Darius Miles had 4. Tinsley way off the mark, but Foster scrapping for it and keeps it alive. O'Neal gets position, and that's all he needs.
That's what we've been very effective with the first part here of this game is going to Miller inside and also going to O'Neal inside.
And this is also what Isaiah Thomas has. He has Brad Miller getting the foul trouble with 3 minutes, and he comes off with a fresh Jeff Foster. Indiana, before Miller arrived, Foster and O'Neal, when they started, the 2 of them had 2 fouls in the first quarter. As Reggie Miller heals it from downtown. Reggie, who has played 17 minutes over the course of the last 6 days because he was ejected against Philadelphia after 17 minutes in that game, and then missing last night. He's having 4 days off in between. There is another call, and this is on Tinsley, so the fouls are coming fast and furious. Already the Pacers have picked up their 3rd team foul. None on the Clippers, and Jeff McGinnis will have a couple of shots.
Tinsley got himself out of position that time, and he had to try to make up for it by trying to block the shot, and picked up that foul.
So Tinsley in his rookie season, and he has been dazzling on the offensive end, leading teammates to baskets, one of the top assist men in the league, but still finding it rough on the defensive end. Last night, having some difficulties in the ball game on the defensive end against Andre Miller. Reggie Miller steps back over Piatkowski, and Reggie, he's got some shots stored up for this one.
Reggie's showing that intensity. We talked at the top of the show. He's really going to be intense tonight.
And also hitting those 2 outside shots, looking to stretch that defense, open it up inside for the now bigger Pacers in low. You see Ron Artest standing, applauding. He's into the game, although working off the bench tonight with Reggie Miller rejoining the squad. Artest started last night. Bender, the quick move, and gets there. Jonathan Bender with a beauty. He had 12 last night, once again inserted in the starting lineup after coming off the bench a couple of times. So Indiana with hot shooting. L.A. just 1 of their 6 attempts, and the Clippers trail by 7. Clippers playing tonight without Lamar Odom and Corey Maggette, both injured and on the IL, so 2 of the young athletic pieces are gone. It's a 3-second defense on the Pacers, and this is Jonathan Bender, Billy Keller.
Jonathan does really a good job. Once he catches it, he takes it to the basket without hesitation, and I think that's something that he's learned by sitting out and watching, and now he's applying.
So Bender takes his position now defensively after Piatkowski misses the tee, and Lamar Odom with the wrist injury out for another couple of weeks. Corey Maggette slammed his hand on the press table in the last game against Orlando, was upset, and he dislocated 2 fingers, and he is now on the IL, could be out for about a month. Jonathan Bender releases, and there is Brand, who averages 11 rebounds per ball game, along with his 18 points. McGinnis for 3. Jeff McGinnis, who has hit 36 from downtown this season. The Clippers went downtown crazy against Indiana in their first meeting. They led by as many as 38 points in that ball game, just catching the Pacers at the right time. The block by Brand. 11-7, Indiana in front. It's about midway in the first quarter. Miles and Bender. McGinnis. Miles, who was the 3rd pick in the draft coming out of high school. Bender number 5 the year before. And this foul is on Jonathan Bender. And a timeout will be taken by the Indiana Pacers. So good shooting by Indiana. Game will start at 7 o'clock. Tickets at Ticketmaster. 239-5151 is the number to call, and good seats are still available. To the foul line is Darius Miles, who has been playing with some muscle spasms, but he helped lead the Clippers to that big win in early December. But Indiana outscored 31-12 in the second quarter, and the Clippers with the 12 steals, 15 block shots. It was a game that the Pacers like to forget about, although may have been reminded by Isaiah Thomas before tonight's game. A little extra motivation. Miller goes down, but he still hits, so Reggie Miller comes out smoking tonight.
Reggie does such a great job of coming off the screens, and his footwork is good, and he's able to get that shot off quickly.
Miller's at all 3. McGinnis. And he has a quick 7 points to lead the way. What a great story he has become. A 2nd-round draft pick. Wandered around several teams in the NBA and Europe. Signed on with the Clippers in a 10-day contract. Just looking to hang on. And here he is now. Last couple of seasons has played his way into the starting lineup on a team that is loaded with talent. Olowokandi. Foster keeps him away, but still hits the shot. And Michael Olowokandi has been coming on. He has 15 double-doubles this year, 13 since January 1st. And 6 of those in the last 8 games, so starting to provide dividends here in his 4th season. Foster staying with it. Bender, the hard drive! Throws with the left hand!
My goodness, you know, that's the thing that he is doing so well, is taking the basket. That was explosive.
Well, he was outplayed by Darius Miles in the first game, outscored 14-2. Bender missed 8 of his 9 shots, and they've got a little thing going here. Here's Bender guarding Miles. And the jumper. Once again, it is Jeff McGinnis keeping the Clippers in there. He has 9 of their 14 points. Tinsley finds Miller. Baseline against Piatkowski. Bender tips it to Tinsley. And Olowokandi gets in the way. Fast break for the Clippers. Piatkowski, a threat from deep. Olowokandi with a little hook. Brand reaching out and doing what he does so well. Since he came in the league, he is the best offensive rebounder over the course of the last 3 seasons in the NBA. Baseline, Foster providing the good defense. 6 seconds to shoot for Los Angeles, and that was a body check by Jermaine O'Neal. He gets his second personal, or check that, that's his first.
Al, Victor could have dunked this one with his elbow. He was up so high, he was so explosive from the takeoff. That angle really doesn't show it, but he could have dunked it with his elbow.
And no question on that foul. Jermaine O'Neal coming outside, and in hockey terms, that would have actually been a good play.
He came late. He got there late. Consequently, he was trying to get position, but it was just a little too late to get that position, and he picked up the foul.
First change for the Los Angeles Clippers is Quentin Richardson, who dialed up 5 3-pointers and had a game-high 21 against Indiana. Matching up against Artest, and Artest off the bench for the first time tonight. He'll be testing that sprained ankle. McGinnis missing from the foul line, so the Clippers have had opportunities from the line, but have missed 4 of their 7 foul shots and still trail the Pacers by 1. O'Neal with the fake. He goes in. Picked up by Elton Brand. And Brand with the foul. Jermaine O'Neal initially had the shot, but after the fake, he even had some more room.
What created this for him, the advantage, was that shot fake, and then he had to have weak side help, which came late, and consequently he was able to draw the foul.
Al Albert, along with former Pacer star Billy Keller, joining us tonight, who played on 3 Pacer ABA championship teams. And delighted to have you here. 7 years wearing the Pacer uniform, playing along the likes of Mel Daniels and Freddie Lewis and Roger Brown, Bob Nedelicki. Glory years for the Pacers under Slick Leonard.
We had a lot of fun those years.
3-point lead for Indiana. 3 minutes to go. Three seconds to shoot. Olowokandi showing that he has reached now in his 4th season a little more of a comfort level. He's drafted #1 overall, not much of a basketball background, out of Nigeria, played for the University of Pacific. They knew he would be somewhat of a construction project. They have hung with him and now starting to pay some dividends. This is Richardson, a little shake and fake. Isaiah Thomas has his top defender on Richardson, and Artest does a nice job.
The Clippers are a very physical team.
Oh, speaking of physical, Jermaine O'Neal with a finish, and emphatically.
He timed that perfectly going down the lane for that put-back dunk.
Well, the slam dunk contest, of course, originating from the ABA. We're seeing a little bit of a slam dunk contest. Bender going upstairs, and then it is Jermaine O'Neal. A couple of 10s right there. Is there one memorable moment that stands out?
Oh, gosh, there are so many, but I think that winning the championships, those were memories that no one can ever take away from you, and it'll be in your mind forever. And it's so exciting to think about it. And coming this evening, you know, being here in the atmosphere again brings back a lot of the memories.
Well, that narrowed down to 3 memories, right?
You
3
bet.
championships. What a great team. Certainly the elite ball club in the 9 years of the ABA, and the crowd here tonight at Conseco Fieldhouse, and ABA 9 years just helping to bring us to this point in this beautiful new arena. You saw NBA.com. That's what it's become, Billy. But
Yes.
you could catch all the high-flying action of the NBA by checking in with NBA.com, and you may see those last couple of dunks that we saw live and in person
We
here
sure
at Conseco. Jermaine O'Neal, and he is now starting to light it up. 4 field goals, 8 points. Jermaine put the blame on himself in last night's game, getting 21 shots, although he's covered pretty well with Indiana not having that perimeter offense in the absence of Reggie Miller. And Jermaine very upset also in 46 minutes. He didn't have an offensive rebound. Quentin Richardson, here's his first 3, and there it is, picking up right where he left off against the Pacers in Los Angeles when he made 5 of 8 from downtown, and it seemed as if he had 5 in a row, all in that 3rd quarter. So L.A. has tied it up at 21. Kevin Ollie is on the floor with Artest, Bender, O'Neal, and Foster. O'Neal fights his way through and goes to the left hand.
Pacers now have more inside power and strength and have more scoring ability inside, than they're really taking advantage of it.
And also looking forward to the return of Ron Mercer coming over from Chicago as a sprained knee and will be out another couple of weeks. But, you know, you remember Ron Mercer was the leading scorer for the Bulls, averaging 17 a game. Last year averaged around 20. And the question of whether he could handle coming off the bench behind Reggie Miller. I mean, he plays close to 40 minutes a game, but he is so excited to be in a playoff race. He never has been in a playoff race in the 5 years he's been in the league, that he is looking forward to it. And Pacers will add another shooting threat from the outside. Ron Mercer was the 6th pick in the draft when he came out of Kentucky. The Pacers will have to wait a couple of weeks for that.
Well, I know he's anxious to get back.
Ripping it away is Foster at the buzzer. Back in to start the second quarter. Elton Brand hammering away. That's his first field goal. So Brand, who has been limited of late with a sore tendon in the right finger. Jonathan Bender over Miles, and he gets clipped by the Clipper on the elbow. So Miles with his personal foul, and Jonathan has been a little more aggressive back in the starting lineup. Last night he certainly was, scoring 12 points, and tonight too. We saw that one of the resounding stuffs of the season. And Billy, you were just commenting about the Pacers since the trade, and you're seeing here tonight they've gone 8 deep, but Isaiah always could stay fresh with the lineup on the floor.
He has more size now inside. He can rotate players. He's more versatile inside, foul-wise, point-wise. You can see that 14 points in the paint in that first quarter out of 23 scored.
And Indiana last night gave up 103 points to Cleveland, who were out-rebounded by 18. The irony there, of course, is supposedly bigger, stronger, deeper, better rebounding and better defending. But last night, a tough assignment with 3 new. That's 25% of your roster now are new. And without Reggie Miller, it certainly changes the whole dynamic of an inside-outside game. Brad Miller and Foster working up front. Miller, there's Foster banging. And Kevin Ollie will reset. So you have 2 of the best bruisers in the league right now in Brad Miller and Foster, who will never give up on the basketball. Foster, baseline, line drive jumper. And there is Miller. And he draws the foul. So the hustle by the big men inside make that happen. And they are right now just trying to wear down the very athletic but wiry Los Angeles Clippers. Elton Brand, who is the leading offensive rebounder. Brad Miller is on that list, and there's Jeff Foster at number 14. Miller checking in at 6th. So Indiana with 2 of the top 14 offensive rebounders in the NBA. And I don't think there's any other team that has that kind of combination in the top 15 players.
Brad Miller is very good around the basket with his hands. I mean, he keeps the ball alive, or he's constantly moving inside, and he's using his body well as well. So consequently, he's able to get his hands on a lot of basketballs, and in that situation, he was able to get to the free throw line.
Pacers lead it by 4, nearly 2 minutes into the second quarter, up and around, and it is Ollie. Fast break, 3-on-2, and look who's running with him, Foster and Miller. Comes all the way back to Ollie. Bender wide open for 3. Jonathan Bender from downtown, and he now has 9 points, but what a fast break. It was Brad Miller on one side and Jeff Foster on the other, running on the fast break. The dish to Brand. Bender is there to stuff him. Richardson, another 3. Swish. And Quentin Richardson doing it to the Pacers again.
Foster on that last dunk looked like he did not want to be outdone by his teammates, so he was going to get him one.
Well, he still owes him one.
Yep.
Artest driving across the lane. And you see right now, Pacers' size really difficult for the Clippers to handle. Richardson, there is Foster flying like the eagle And a long rebound sets it up all alone. Jonathan Bender, and you see how high he gets up in the air to shoot the three.
That missed dunk by Foster was a secondary break that the Pacers run. He comes right down the middle, and I think as you watch the Pacers play, he will get a lot of dunk opportunities like that as time goes on.
Another offensive rebound, and Artest can't complete it. Now it's Darius Miles running the break. The Clippers get up in a hurry. Bender in the upper stratosphere to yank down that rebound.
Excellent timing as well. Not only can he jump, but he's timing extremely well.
You also see, Billy, the aggressiveness now with Bender. It's taken him several years to get comfortable, also putting on a little weight, a little more confident, battling in the crowds. 2 seconds to shoot. Artest turns, and he beats the clock. Foster scrapping, and there's Darius Miles. This is the second best shot blocking team in the NBA, and the Clippers with athletes who slash, as you saw right there. We have a timeout.
Once there was a land where everyone loved.
The versatility of Jonathan Bender. You see all the athletes on the Clippers side, and so far with the Pacers certainly standing tall with the Clippers, and Jonathan Bender out of high school. The dunk, the three, what else can he do? Right in there defensively, showing how he could sky and blocking the shot.
He's just getting better and better every game, and I think that comes through just playing, gaining more confidence in his ability, and also playing the game with his teammates. He's having fun.
And now the foundation has been laid with Bender, and Isaiah Thomas putting him on the floor, and Jonathan knows, he's going to get 25, 30 minutes. 5-point lead for the Pacers. Ollie in the backcourt with Artest. Bender up front, along with Brad Miller and Jeff Foster. Ollie, and he will be called for the foul, although it was Elton Brand moving on the play, denying Ollie his position. And it is Brand who just kind of gets up and walks the other way, a little smirk on his face, not allowing Ollie to move along the baseline.
He definitely was not in position.
Here is Ollie, wants to get him back. Kevin Ollie has been on 7 different teams in 5 years, and last night in his first game as a Pacer, scored more points in one game than he ever has as a pro. Skying again is Jonathan Bender. He has 5 rebounds to go along with his 9 points. A little too hard on that attempt.
Pacers run a secondary break, and Bender is the 5th man coming down the floor, enabling him to get that three-point opportunity.
Harold Jamison off the bench, coming in, a second-year man out of Clemson, getting some playing time. He stepped in for Elton Brand 2 games ago, and Brand did not play, and Jamison was inserted in the starting lineup and had a double-double, 14 points and 10 rebounds. Artest fakes on Miles, switch. Ron Artest loves to play defense, but remember, the man wearing number 15 scores about that many points per ball game. Pacers picking up the top 3 scorers from the Bulls. Indiana by 5. They lost 103 to 72 in LA, trying to even the season series. The Clippers have lost 8 in a row in trips to Indiana. Elton Brand, and that is Brand at his best.
He is a horse inside. He knows how to use his body so well, and he really capitalized
with that wingspan.
Right.
6'8", 265. Pacers hammering on the offensive boards. Jeff Foster has 5 of those, and that will be against Artest. So Artest gets his foul, his first. Very aggressive player. And with Artest, a foul called like that sometimes can set him off, and he has had some difficulty at times controlling his emotions, something we saw with Jermaine O'Neal early in this season. Jeff Foster gets a rest, and what a job by Foster. Coming off the bench in 15 minutes is 10 rebounds already. So Foster was not happy with his performance last night when he's just had 4 off the boards in only 19 minutes, making up for it tonight, and he has been a Tasmanian devil on the boards. Artest looking. Here's Tinsley. Miles gets a piece of that one. Artest open for three. Swish. And let us add that Ron Artest also can hit the three-point shot. He shoots 40% from downtown.
He looks like he's been playing in Indiana all season long.
Stepping right in. He just loves to play the game. Olowokandi gets inside on Brad Miller, who has the 2 personal fouls. Miller wants to get out of the half without picking up his third. 5.5 minutes to go. O'Neal has to make the change, and he does. So he gets up there. Another offensive rebound, and 12 points for O'Neal.
What an athletic move. Shot, follows it, tips it in with the left hand.
He's averaging 18 points a game, along with 11 rebounds. The mirror numbers of Elton Brand. Richardson and the clamps by Tinsley, something Tinsley does so well, coming off the ball. And we'll have a jump ball when we return. Youngest team in the NBA, Pacers were number 2. But ever since the trade, Pacers are now younger than the Clippers because they get Miller and Mercer at 25. They have Artest at 22, and they traded Jalen Rose, who was 30, and right now, and Travis Best 29. So Indiana just creeps in front of the Los Angeles Clippers. Isaiah Thomas now has the youngest team in the NBA, and now has some of the horses after the trade. Jalen Rose, of course, and Travis Best off to a terrific start in Chicago. A deal that looks as if it will benefit both ball clubs. Miller on the push, and the foul is on Keon Dooling, who has just checked in. First-round draft pick, 21 years of age. They have 6 players between 20 and 22 to the Los Angeles Clippers. Dooling has been out most of the season with a sprained ankle, and he has been back for the last 6, but cannot stay with Reggie Miller on that move.
Brad Miller did a nice job on weak side of the ball, setting that back pick. Reggie did a nice job of setting his man up, and he came off to get the advantage and to draw the foul.
So cosmetic change, at least on the jerseys for the Indiana Pacers. Now there's an R. Miller and a B. Miller. Well, it's been some time since Reggie has taken a foul shot, so he misses one of the 2. But Indiana has just equaled their biggest lead, 39-32. Low-scoring affair. Teams having the difficulties of finding the basket. Kwiatkowski way off the mark. And it will stay there. You see number 32 for the Clippers, Tremaine Folks, who has just signed today from the Developmental League. And there is Brad Miller. And R. Miller, who has gone 15 seasons until now with the familiar M-I-L-L-E-R on the back of his jersey. See, I could see needing that on the box score, where you don't see the players, but don't quite understand it on the jersey here. There is a basket, and Brand will have an additional shot. Second foul on Jermaine O'Neal.
There again, Brand uses his body so well when he takes it to the basket. He can put players in the position that he wants them in, and he can draw the foul, and he's also able to score.
Just 22 years old in his 3rd season. Came out of Duke after his sophomore year, and first couple of years with Chicago, so consistent. 20 points, 11 rebounds, or 10 rebounds a game as a rookie. Can you imagine that? They're averaging 20 and 10.
That was really good for him to play in Chicago in the beginning because of the fact he played. He was able to get in and play, make his mistakes, learn from his mistakes to become the player that he is now.
Well, you take a look on this floor tonight, the ex-Bulls, and you wonder, why do the Bulls lose so many games, you know? Elton Brand, Brad Miller, Ron Artest, and there is R. Miller going in, and he is making up for some lost time. So Reggie cracking here in the first half, and he is already in double figures with 11 points. So Miller with 11, O'Neal with 12, and Bender with 9 to lead Indiana. Jeff McGinnis, 9 points in the first quarter. High man for Los Angeles. Now it's Tinsley and Miller with Artest, O'Neal, and Brad Miller up front. Tinsley whips it around. Artest another 3, and he rattles the rim. Ron Artest showing his new fans here in Indiana another dimension to his ball game. And there is Artest defensively all over Fultz for what he brings on the floor. Quick release, Reggie Miller from downtown as the Clippers asleep on the inbounds. And Indiana has ripped open a 13-point lead. Reggie Miller bringing the emotion. R. Miller from downtown, R. Artest from downtown, and Indiana leads it 48-35. Artest has come off the bench. He has 9 quick points here in the second quarter. That's all the points the Pacers have off the bench. Brad Miller, the fake again on Olowokandi, and that one just leans in.
Pacers right now are playing so unselfish. They're giving up the ball. They're setting up a teammate. They're setting a pick. They're getting the ball down inside. They're just really playing the game well.
Last night it was all on adrenaline, and the ex-Bulls were excellent in their first game as Indiana Pacers. It was the old Pacers who had the difficulty, looked confused, but tonight, Billy, as you're just talking about, team has had a few more practices under the belt and moving the ball well. Look at this again, catching the Clippers asleep.
Tinsley saw O'Neal up front, and again didn't hesitate to get the ball to him. Great unselfish play.
But great ball movement. Pacers looking for one another. Terrific effort on the defensive end, on the boards, attacking. They have out-rebounded the Clippers 29-17 in this first half. Brad Miller says, please take that shot. And Indiana, with 2 minutes to go, they have been on a 13-0 run over the course of the last 2 minutes. 13 points in 2 minutes. That is incredible. Make that 15-0. Indiana right now slapping the Clippers in the face. Take that for what you did to us in L.A. That's what Indiana's saying right now. Alvin Gentry is off his bench on the floor. He is so upset and calls another timeout with 1:28 to go. He's on the road for 5 games from the Pacers home court gift shop. Bowser held a zone against the Clippers. Both teams 2 games under the 500 mark. And both teams looking to get into the playoff spot. Artest with a steal. Artest all the way, coast to coast, and he'll get to the foul line. So deceptive speed there by 6'7", 245 pounds, a very thick Ron Artest.
You notice he really does a good job of overplaying, and he gets his hand in there, able to deflect the ball. Nice move there. He takes it down with the left hand, draws the foul on the layup.
So Ron Artest, who came out of St. John's after his sophomore season, the 16th pick in the draft, a defensive hound dog who also could add on the offensive end. And despite all the losing in Chicago, there was certainly a thread that ran through the 3 Bulls that are now suited up in a Pacer uniform. That they always played hard. They always competed. They're now so thrilled to be in a playoff race. Indiana starting tonight a game and a half out of that last playoff spot. This is on Reggie Miller. So Miller gets his first personal foul. Reggie, who last night had to sit home and watch the game on TV. You know, for Reggie, that is just something he does not enjoy doing. That is painful. And he is so happy to get back tonight and showing it. 14-point outburst in the first half for Reggie Miller. And Alvin Gentry just cannot believe what he is seeing. The Clippers now 6 of 11 from the foul line. And Indiana getting Los Angeles at the right time, at least the first half. It's a 20-point lead. That is the first point for the Clippers in 7 minutes. And we have a whistle, and this is on Olowokandi. Oh, check that. It seems like 7 minutes to Alvin Gentry. Actually, it's 3 minutes that the Clippers have scored. So Brad Miller goes to the line. There's 53 seconds to go, up by 20. And you know, the one thing on Brad Miller's mind right now is do not pick up that 3rd foul, although it might be inconsequential with Indiana pulling away by so many points as this game unfolds. wearing number 52, the number he wore with the Boilermakers. When he turned pro with Charlotte, there was a guy there by the name of Chucky Brown who had number 52. I think that indicated actually how many teams he had played on at that point. Here's Olowokandi over Foster. Davis. And there it is. There is his third foul. So Davis gets number 3.
Brad Miller called for the foul on the play.
Brad needs to understand that the 2 points that Brand may score there really is not going to hurt us nearly as much as him getting his third foul. And there again, with Brand is so good with his body, he's able to get in there and draw the foul.
So Miller remained on with the 2 fouls in the last minute, up by 20, and he gets his third. Austin Crozier will play out the final 41 seconds. And Elton Brand now to the line. Jeff McGinnis is the high man with the Clippers with 9. He had them early. And Brand with the foul shot has 10 points. Here's Crozier. Now Artest isolated against the long and lean Darius Miles. 5 seconds to shoot. Artest tries to find somebody in a hurry as he got hung up. He looks back at Isaiah Thomas and points to his head. And it will be a timeout taken. 4 is back in. Indiana will talk it over, try to get the shot off with 2 seconds on the shot clock. Well, tonight's Lowe's home improvement stat, we just never know what we will see, and we are awaiting that as the Pacers huddle. Alvin Gentry, well, he knows the home improvement stat. 27 wins already, and they have a load of games to go, only 4 away from last year, and that 31 was a heck of an improvement over the previous 3. Clippers no longer the doormat in the NBA, and they are fighting for the playoffs. They've been over 500 only 2 times since 84-85 when the franchise moved to LA. And the inbounds to Artest. So the fortuitous timeout by Isaiah Thomas. They designed the play and once again catch the Clippers cold. Now the last shot. McGinnis, 3 seconds to shoot. And helping out with the pressure defense, Tinsley was there, so was Artest. And they just say the ball was knocked out of bounds by the Pacers. It leaves L.A. with 2 seconds. McGinnis heaves a 3, and he's got it. At the buzzer, Jeff McGinnis. And it brings the Clippers to within 18. But it was all Indiana in that second quarter.
So his dunks, he seems to go in there with his left hand. Being a right-hander, that's kind of surprising, but he likes to take the ball to his left and then dunks it with his left hand.
He looked like an eagle clenching the ball in his left claw and then pouncing. Jonathan Bender with 2 spectacular dunks here tonight. And I think, if Dunkin' Donuts wants to get in here, the first dunk of the third quarter coming up.
That's right.
It's out there. First dunk of the ball game.
He is incredible. I mean, the way he's taking the ball to the basket with confidence and then dunking it.
62-44. The Pacers lead by 18 points. They have lost 5 of the last 6 and 1 game under the belt since the trade, and very much in sync here. And Billy Keller, is it the fact that they've played the 1 game together? Is it the fact that Reggie Miller is back? Last night, too, Pacers had not played in 4 days, so a little rust also involved.
Actually, I think it's all of those, to be honest with you. I think right now what they're doing is they're playing with so much enthusiasm. They're not worried about anything right now but just playing the game and playing together, and they're playing together very well.
Indiana with Tinsley and Miller in the backcourt. Reggie Miller, Brad Miller at center, with Jermaine O'Neal and Jonathan Bender. Michael Olowokandi, and he scores. Olowokandi, who has In the month of February, 9 games, been averaging the double-double, 12 points and 10 rebounds. Late start, growing up in Nigeria, actually a soccer player, played at the University of Pacific. And a first-round draft pick, first overall. Brad Miller, remember, he starts the second half with 3 personal fouls. Pacers have made their first 3 field goals in the third quarter. Miller digging in as he does so well. And 12 points for Miller. The 3 Bulls last night accounted for 50 of the Pacers' 93 points and hit 20 of 27 shots from the floor. Just an excellent start for those 3 who were psyched up and the adrenaline was pumping. The rest of the Pacers catching up to them tonight. And Tinsley being actually running into his man. So Tinsley, the foul. And Steve Grooms, the contestant, unfortunately watching the Clippers score the first 3-pointer as McGinnis hit. And McGinnis came over and Billy wanted to know if he could get $200 for hitting the 3. Brand in and out, and there is Bender, who has 5 rebounds. Jeff Foster at 10 boards in the first half. Jamal Tinsley, 7 assists. Tinsley looking for Brad Miller on the deck. And now the Clippers, who have won 27 and lost 29. They're in the 9th spot in the West, 2.5 games behind Seattle. That last playoff spot in the West. Jermaine O'Neal, his 3rd personal foul. Indiana comes into this game a game and a half behind Toronto, Washington, and Philly. 3-way tie for the final spots in the East. So O'Neal picks up his 3rd, along with Brad Miller, 3 apiece, and they are on the floor. Olowokandi, a 66% foul shooter. Alvin Gentry on a 5-game road trip that started Wednesday with a 10-point win in Miami, and then the next night lost by 18 in Orlando. And they will be on to Memphis Friday, Houston Tuesday, before returning home for 1 game, then on the road for 4 more. So a tough stretch for the Clippers, who are trying to squeeze in the playoff contention in the West. And the first time in years they're actually talking about playoff contention with the Clippers.
The Clippers are very athletic, and I think they can be very dangerous. The way they shoot the ball from outside, they seem to be doing a good job inside. Let's just hope that they don't start doing something wonderful here from this point.
Jamal Tinsley, it's all going at this point for the Pacers. That is 13 straight field goals for Indiana. And Tinsley hits his first of the game, and that's from downtown. And Indiana getting the fans excited, diving for loose balls. Isaiah Thomas now seeing some of the benefits of the trade in the second game. Indiana looking deep, strong, bigger up front, playing defense. And there certainly is more of a fire from the whole team here tonight than there was last night.
They're energized, Al. They're energized. Indiana is energized at both ends, offense and defensive end.
Miller gets the long pass. He's hemmed in. Jonathan Bender up and over. Jonathan Bender putting on a display tonight.
Was he looking down at the basket?
He's right. He's shooting down. 13 points for Bender. So he can shoot down at the basket. It doesn't have to be a scuff.
Anytime he wants.
Olowokandi starting to find the range. Clippers, though, finding themselves still 19 points back. Pacers are trying to gain the confidence of once again making it tough for opponents to come in here to Conseco Fieldhouse. Pacers have lost 8 of their last 13 games at home. 4 seconds to shoot. O'Neal, 1 second. And Brand got a piece of that one, and it's called a 24-second violation. Pacers will be on the road for the next 4 ball games in Golden State Monday, Thursday in Phoenix, Friday against the Lakers, Sunday at Sacramento, before returning home a week from Tuesday against Tracy McGrady and Orlando. Here's a steal by Tinsley, zigging and zagging against the shot blocker Miles. who takes it away. So Jamal Tinsley, who was one of the assist leaders in the league, but Billy, quite frankly, has shown difficulty on fast breaks of completing the play, and is one of the stellar point guards in the Pacer history. Do you have any recommendations?
At that time, he just got a little too far in, got in too deep, tried to make the desperation type pass rather than just pulling up short of the bucket and taking the shot.
Loose ball, Piatkowski, who started out the game by hitting a three, this time deflected by O'Neal. And they'll call a foul, and the foul is on Tinsley. So he gets his fourth personal foul.
Tinsley has really good hands. Right there was O'Neal blocked the shot, but Tinsley comes in, and he always has a tendency to get his hands on the ball. Really nice play, but he picked up his fourth foul.
Quick hands, iron vice-like hands, but he goes out with the fourth foul. He has 9 assists. You just saw him score his 3 points, hitting from downtown, and Kevin Ollie comes in. So Brand from the foul line. And Kevin Ollie is back in, coming off a career high in his first game as a Pacer last night against Cleveland. Ollie looking for his first points, and he gets it tonight. So Kevin Ollie has been averaging 6 points a game. He started 17 games with the Bulls, and the story of perseverance, Billy. Started out in the CBA, coming out of Connecticut.
He has an excellent knack, too, of being able to get to the basket.
He's actually been on 9 different teams. Jermaine O'Neal looking for his 5th block shot of the game. Instead, the goaltend. And Darius Miles gets his first basket of the game.
Watch how Ollie gets to the basket. He'll get the ball back, and he just takes it without any hesitation. And I think sometimes that's the real key. Get it and go. And that's what he did.
I'm sure Alvin Gentry not pleased by seeing that one, as Ollie splits to 2 defenders, and the center does not pick him up down the lane. Miller, the fake, he stops and pops and hits. And he has 7 field goals, and at least 3 of them has had the same fake on the same man, Eric Piatkowski, who's yet to pick it up. Miller now with 16 returning to the floor for Indiana after missing last night due to the suspension, going back to his altercation with Derek Coleman on Philadelphia Sunday. There's another one on Jermaine O'Neal coming way outside, and Joe Forte hitting O'Neal with his 4th personal foul. And Jermaine looking for an explanation.
What happens is he has a tendency to be in the wrong angle, and he picks up another foul.
And there is the explanation. Although Jermaine wanted it from the official. And Jonathan Bender is shaken up. Elton Brand goes in, taking it quickly to the hoop. Jeff Foster, who is on the floor now, his 2nd foul. So Brand gets another foul, a basket, and a chance. And right now, huddling David Craig with Jonathan Bender. Pacers now have to watch out, Billy. They had the big lead. They now have some foul trouble, and have to continue to play with that fire that we've witnessed so far in this ball game.
This is the time now when the subs coming in have to keep the intensity level up. We can't let up at this point. We've got to continue to play with that same intensity.
Ollie from 20, and see if they can continue to make their shots. Richardson back in. He's hit a couple of threes, puts it right in the hands of Olowokandi. Artest ripping along with Brand, and they get the jump ball. The 2 former Bull teammates, first-round draft picks, coming to the Bulls the same season, and the youngsters had to carry the Bulls for a couple of years. All the pressure was placed on their shoulders, and Pacers happy about that now because they get a Ron Artest with 2 years of experience.
Yeah, and he's a competitor, too, at both ends of the floor. He loves to play this game.
Brand beats him up there for the jump. A little over 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Pacers looking to even the season series with Los Angeles. Another quick whistle. And this is on Kevin Ollie. A crowd voicing their opinion of the calls now against the Pacers. They have 5 personal fouls in this third quarter. Clippers have yet to be called for one.
A lot of times on fouls, at least the fouls this evening, a lot of them have been because we've been out of position. That particular time, Kevin was out of position when McGinnis made the reverse move, and consequently he was picked up for the foul.
McGinnis hits the 2 from the foul line. He is 19 tonight, leading the way, and a little concern really on the face of Isaiah Thomas as the lead shrinking to 14. Clippers have carved 8 points off their deficit, and there's the quick whistle at the other end. So the whistles are tooting now. McGinnis called for his first foul. Darius Miles on the floor. Olowokandi comes out, and the veteran Sean Rooks, in his 10th season out of Arizona, is in. Still the work being done by Jonathan Bender. Tom Jennings, assistant trainer. Reggie Miller fading away. So now the Clippers are coming on. Pacers starting to miss some shots. And Jermaine O'Neal with 4 fouls on the bench, as well as Tinsley also with 4. Nice fake by Brand, and he's got it.
Brand is getting, not only Brand, but the Clippers are getting better shots at the offensive end, plus their defensive intensity has picked up.
And the run by Los Angeles to try to nudge their way back into this game. Darius Miles all over Reggie Miller, and Miles has his 4th personal foul. And with 3:19 to go in the third, let's check in with Scott Hoke. Scott?
Well, you see Jonathan Bender on the bench has been having a terrific ball game. They've just wrapped his left elbow in ice. He banged it pretty good, but he should be able to come back, according to David Craig, the trainer.
Pacers left with 7 seconds. Brad Miller wants to make the move against Rooks, who just checked in. He's got it, and he's fouled. Oh, and he was so excited, he pumped the fist and almost punched out the referee, Jason Phillips.
This is really good on Brad. He keeps his head up. He's obviously gotten the foul there, and what he's trying to do here is fade away. He knows he's drawn the foul. He's got to get it up on the board. Gets the shot, excitement, and let's wipe out the official.
And he gets away. Even the official understood the situation. Miller now with 14 after his 21 last night, but that's what he also brings, tremendous emotion to the Pacers. He wants this win very badly here tonight. So he didn't come from Chicago in this deal to lose anymore.
Crowley, his wife down there. Fletcher, first of all, tell me about Kevin coming to Indianapolis. We loved having him here last night with a career high, but from your vantage point, what's the trade like for Kevin?
Oh, he's loving it. He was surprised. I was surprised, but like I said, he said loving it. And here with a winning team, too.
Absolutely. You and your wife come up from Dallas for this ball game tonight, and I'm going to move a little bit to my left here. And I'll tell you about Kevin's son here in a moment. Stephanie, Mrs. Ollie, tell me about Kevin coming to Indianapolis and your first reaction when you found out he was going to be here.
My first reaction was I was surprised because it happened in the middle of the season, but, you know, this is the type of thing that he's in where surprises just, you know, come a long way. So I was like, you know, we have to move out to Indiana. I was just shocked because my son just got, you know, situated in school in Chicago, so now we have to move back out here, but, you know, it's all part of the business.
Absolutely. You know, the little guy on my lap here, guys, who was itching to go down and get some popcorn, this is Jalen Ollie. Believe it or not, Jay, were you kind of disappointed you didn't get a chance to meet Jalen Rose when he was here?
Because I was playing basketball.
Well, he loves Jalen Rose nonetheless. Guys, back over to you.
Thank you, Scott. And the family's certainly used to it, considering the fact he's moved 9 times in 5 years.
Yeah, they've just taken in stride.
Right. Next son will be named Travis.
They're happy to be here, though, you can tell.
Well, taking in the atmosphere here at Conseco Fieldhouse, and I think it has been transmitted around the arena. Another sellout, back-to-back sellouts last night against Cleveland, and this evening to see the new-look Pacers. And Indiana, of course, had to give away 2 terrific players and people in Jalen Rose and Travis Best, but looking at this point, especially with Al Harrington out, Billy, they've covered their bases for this season to make the run, and then when you think of Al Harrington in the mix with this club next year, it's really pointing to the future and the way to build a championship through a little more size and defense and getting the depth through this trade.
They're building this basketball team with the ingredients that they need and the skills that they need to really win big in this league, and that's defense and rebounding. The scoring is there. Every one of these players can score, but defense and rebound, I think they're really strengthening themselves.
And as it turns out, terrific deal for Jalen Rose and Travis Best. I mean, you see what Jalen has done now as the #1 guy. He says here was Batman and Robin. There at Chicago, he is now Batman. And for Travis Best, who was a free agent, likelihood that you might have lost him anyway. And for Travis, who's such a terrific guy, chance to showcase himself in the last 2 months. Will the basket count? Yes. The continuation, and Reggie Miller was determined to score the hoop. He knew he was going to be held by Sean Rooks, and Reggie Miller showing the emotion and looking for his 20th point at the foul line.
Well, Sean came down here with the intent to make sure that he didn't get to the basket, but he let him go.
Fighting his way through. R. Miller, Uncle Reg, struggling tonight at the foul line. This is a rarity. You could count, I think, on your fingers the games as a pro that Reggie Miller has missed more than one foul shot in a ball game. He's missed 2 of his 6 tonight, so Indiana on a 6-0 run. Richardson and Foster making sure he did not get to the basket.
My goodness. He was flying.
Richardson, at the age of 21 in his second season out of DePaul, another of the many first-round draft picks, and he is suspended in the air, and Foster gave him the good shot, but also tried to catch him on the way down. Richardson is averaging 14 points a game, every game off the bench for Alvin Gentry. He is a leading contender now with Al Harrington out, 6-man award. Matter of fact, he has led the Clippers in scoring on 12 occasions. And that leads the league for a guy coming off the bench. You know, second, it's Al Harrington still. You know, he hasn't played the last 10 games. Al has led the Pacers, had led the Pacers 5 times this year. Foul inside, and now the foul starting to rain on the Clippers. That's number 3 on Quentin Richardson. Richardson had 21 points to lead the Clippers to a 31-point win over the Pacers in early December in Los Angeles, including 5 3-pointers. He started tonight by hitting his first 2 3-pointers, but that's all he's had. And Reggie Miller, who is now feels a little more insulated with the big bodies. I think it hasn't been since Dale Davis, Antonio Davis, who were here. But Miller feels so comfortable. Now he also understands the kind of picks and screens he's going to get from the bigger bodies, including Ron Artest, who's at 6'7" and 245, and can level you with the screen. Sean Rooks from deep, and there is the newcomer, Tremaine Folks, jumping right out of the developmental league. He played for the Columbus River Dragons and signed today by the Clippers with Lamar Odom out and Corey Maggette now joining Odom on the injured list. Maggette could be out a month. Odom, they're hoping to get back in a couple of weeks. Richardson, foul number 4, and a very active and hyper Reggie Miller, who had played 17 minutes against Philadelphia last Sunday, off for 4 days, and then did not play last night because of the suspension. And he looks like he's 26 years old tonight, so excited about getting back on the floor and with the new surroundings.
Reggie's getting some good picks, you know, and I think that's really a very important part of his game, because when he comes off those picks, he's got his feet set, and he's a great shooter. Reggie
Miller in the zone has scored the last 8 points for Indiana, and now has 23. Brand gets the shove, and this foul is called on Artest, and opponents are finding out now that if you take it inside against Indiana, you will feel it. And this has certainly not been the mentality of the Pacers the last few years. Isaiah Thomas looking out there, and with Brad Miller And Jeff Foster and Ron Artest, he now has his Laimbeer, Mahorn, and Rodman here at Indiana.
He has a lot of fouls that he can get because he has numbers now. He has bodies. He has size. And these players seem to feed off of each other with their aggressive play. And that's what the Pacers have been looking for.
And Kevin Ollie off the bench. Solid backup, very dependable. At 6'2", 195 in his fifth season out of Connecticut. Here's Ollie making the move. 5 on the shot clock. Finds Artest open, looking for his third three. And look at Artest scrapping with Folks to get to the basketball.
Ollie set that one up very, very well. Did you see how he took the basketball? He saw Ron over on the other side. He penetrated and kicked out and got him a wide open three. That was a great move.
Final shot of the third quarter. Folks rises, gets terrific elevation, and scores his second field goal. Leaves Indiana with a second. Foster scurrying. He has Artest. Gets it up, but not in time. In one of the longest 1 seconds we have seen in a while. But has 9 of those 16 assists, and Jermaine O'Neal has 4 of those 7 block shots. Al Albert being joined tonight by former Pacer great Billy Keller, member of 3 of the Pacer ABA championship teams. And just sitting in for tonight's ball game, enjoying this one so far. Jermaine O'Neal is back in. There's Foster battling on the boards. 11 rebounds for Foster prior to that sequence, but he picks up his 4th foul, Billy.
Rand using his body extremely well again on the block out. Foster, instead of trying to move his feet and go around, he tried to go over the top.
And Jonathan Bender has that left elbow wrapped up, but he is back on the floor. So it's O'Neal in the middle with Foster and Bender, Artest and Ollie in the backcourt. Folks with the move, and from behind, Elton Brand going over Jermaine O'Neal, and the second foul on Brand. High man Reggie Miller, who exploded to the Pacers in the third quarter. He scored the last 8 points for Indiana, 10 of their last 12. 23 for Miller, 18 for Jermaine O'Neal. And Brad Miller with 14 points, coming off his 21 in his debut last night. Well, once again, Olowokandi daring Jermaine O'Neal. Might not be a good move tonight, as O'Neal is hit 9 of 16 from the field, and now he has 20.
He was encouraging, wasn't he? He says, please shoot it.
And Jermaine O'Neal taking him up on that. Oh, my. Quentin Richardson with the finish.
That's pretty high percentage.
And Richardson, who has demonstrated that he can hit the three, and also how high he can go inside. Foster with the release. Clippers starting this fourth quarter down by 15, knowing full well that they outscored the Pacers 31-12 in a quarter in Los Angeles, and they are making a quick move to start the fourth period. 21 points for McGinnis, who shows how he could fly, the 5-year vet out of North Carolina. Artest being guarded by Folks, steps back, off the mark, and that one is ripped down by Olowokandi.
Need a little more ball movement, a little more player movement, take our time, get a little better shot.
And Reggie Miller, we add on the bench to start the fourth quarter. May see him shortly, although Isaiah trying to give him a little break. Ron Artest gets his third personal foul. Pacers have 5 men in double figures. All right, you're talking about how high can you go? Off the miss shot, watch Quentin Richardson. Has the path to the basket and a perfect display. Richardson scores from downtown. And now the Clippers are to within 10. They have outscored the Pacers quickly here in the start of the fourth quarter. The deadline on Thursday, and Pacers big deal, and then Indiana 4 games on the road next week.
Tough schedule.
And Isaiah Thomas right now a game and a half out of a playoff spot, trying to notch this victory here tonight, the getaway game, before hitting the West Coast. O'Neal against Brand. You see Brand on defense, digging in. O'Neal has been somewhat unstoppable tonight, but off on the shot. So a cold spell here by Indiana to start the fourth quarter, and the Clippers are capitalizing.
We need to dig in here defensively and get some stops.
The hot man is Richardson. Thought he had it, and Elton Brand puts that one in. 21 now for Brand, and the Clippers to within 8 with quite a bit of time to go. 11-2 run by Los Angeles, who finally have woken up here tonight. Bender fakes the three, forces a shot, gets his own rebound. He better after taking that first shot, and will get to the foul line.
He knew that one probably wasn't his best shot selection, so he went after it.
Olowokandi called on the foul, his third, and now Isaiah Thomas calling for a change as Bender steps to the foul line. He will now be surrounded by a different cast. Tinsley comes in. Reggie Miller getting ready to come in. Brad Miller is on the floor, and Reggie will be replacing Jonathan Bender. There is Tinsley back in action. So Tinsley, Artest, Bender, Brad Miller, and Jermaine O'Neal. And Jonathan Bender misses the two, but Indiana another try, go for three.
We've gone cold at this point.
And another chance by the Clippers trying to dent what was once a 22-point lead. Upstairs goes Jermaine O'Neal. Pacers have hit only 1 of 8 attempts here in the fourth quarter. Tinsley with a crossover, and wait a second, that's called on Jamal Tinsley.
That was a pretty questionable call, but Tinsley did duck his shoulder as he was heading for the basket. We'll see it in the replay here.
Very borderline. The fifth foul on Tinsley, who appeared to actually be involved in making his move. So the ball goes back to the Clippers, and Tinsley, who just came in, has to go out again, and Ali replaces him. Off the pick, Richardson. Oh, my. Tremaine Folks goes upstairs, and all of a sudden the Clippers have squeezed to within 6.
Everybody, a gathering of...
As the Pacers had been outscored 11-2, or 13-2 before that. Brand fights to the basket. There's Olowokandi. No. Clippers doing a better job now on the boards. Kevin Ollie brings it out for Indiana. Miller off the screen of Miller. A line drive jumper, and Reggie Miller, and you'll be seeing the two Millers teaming up in that kind of a sequence. Brad setting the screen, and Miller, Reggie getting the floor for Indiana. Pacers hitting a couple of key baskets. Miller passes it in to Jermaine O'Neal. A tough shot for O'Neal. He makes his 11th field goal for 22 points, and then Miller getting that stiff screen from Miller, and Reggie drills it from the outside. So Indiana now by double figures again. Offensive boards being dominated here late by the Clippers, getting them back into the game. Ali in traffic, slashed by McGinnis as Ali looks to take it all the way. So McGinnis, his second foul. Pacers looking for a little more than that. Thought it might have been a flagrant.
There again, Kevin takes that ball to the basket. Again, he's able to get in and get the foul, get on the line. Let's hit two more.
Kevin Ollie, an 84% foul shooter. 16 points in his debut last night. Highest game ever as a pro. Loose ball, and Folks comes up with it. So here's Folks playing his first game with the Clippers out of the developmental league, and playing here in the fourth quarter. crunch time. Clippers try to make a comeback. Ripped down by Brand. Downtown all along McGinnis. Overshoots Olowokandi, and there is Brand to carry it out again. Folks rises. Artest in the middle of two Clippers. Another chance. McGinnis for three. And Artest makes sure to grasp that one.
They're so athletic on the boards. My goodness. They must have had 5 shots at it at that point.
But Indiana hanging on to the double figures lead. Elton Brand with 21 rebounds in this ball game. 11 on the offensive boards. He has a career high off the boards tonight. This is on Los Angeles. Richardson gets his 5th foul. So 19 offensive rebounds for the Clippers, and they have 9 of them in this quarter. Key matchup, dueling Brand and O'Neal. It's about even scoring, but Brand winning on the boards. Ali was there. Brad Miller is tripped up by Darius Miles, so Miles is available to go in, and the foul is called. O'Neal says he was inside the circle, so the officials will consult now, and they call it on O'Neal.
It was really hard to tell whether he was inside the circle or not. We'll see it here on the replay.
No, he's on the line.
He had his foot on the line, sure did. I think his heel, wasn't it, on the line that time?
Jermaine O'Neal will go out with the 5 fouls. Darius Miles, who got away with a foul when he knocked over Brad Miller, and that actually freed him. So Foster is in for O'Neal. Miles, a 59% foul shooter, and he is a 2 of 5 tonight. Clippers have missed 8 foul shots, make it 9. And Brad Miller protects the ball. Indiana still leads on the boards overall by 3, but they had a double figures edge for most of this ball game. Reggie Miller fighting to get free, and Quentin Richardson, I believe, is called for it, and he will be gone. So that takes a potent weapon out of the lineup for the Clippers, the man who shot down the Pacers in L.A. Quentin Richardson is disqualified.
I don't know how he thought that was not a foul. I mean, he was holding him, he was grabbing him. It didn't make any sense that he would be complaining. And his last couple of fouls against Reggie were the same way. I mean, you can body a guy, but yet you can't hold him. That was definitely a foul.
Richardson goes out with 12 points. Reggie Miller happy to be back. This already is his 12th foul shot of the ball game, and he's looking for his 27th point. 7 straight points for the Pacers. Clippers got it to within 6, but now 13 back, and Reggie has tied his season high. Darius Miles goes in. Foster clamoring over the back of Elton Brand, and Foster is nailed with a foul, and he gets his 5th. So Pacers just hoping time runs out while they still have players on the floor.
I think Jeff that time had his left hand holding one down, his right hand going up, so he was definitely over the back on that one.
Clippers with 5 fouls in the 4th, Pacers with 4. Elton Brand can't hold on to that one, but a monster ball game for Brand, who has been struggling with a sore tendon on his right finger. Didn't play a couple of games ago. Came back against Orlando Thursday night at 19 points, 15 rebounds. He's got a 20-20 game tonight. 21 points, 21 rebounds for Elton Brand. Kevin Ollie off the screen of Foster again, determined to go in and score underneath. And he'll have to move 15 feet now away from the basket. A couple of shots from the foul line.
Ollie did a nice job of taking it to the basket, then using his body to get the ball up on the board. Nice play. The little guards have to do those kinds of things every once in a while. You know, use your body, jump into somebody, and he did a nice job of executing that play.
Billy Keller, who over the course of his 7-year career with the Pacers. And there's the tip. They'll give it to Foster. It's his first field goal to go along with 13 rebounds. Foster has 7 offensive rebounds. Billy Keller hit over 500 three-pointers in his career. Dished out for over 2,000 assists. Did you know that?
No, I really didn't.
The offensive foul.
I'll have to check that out here in the record book. Is that any kind of record or anything?
A little research. And in his last season, the last year of the ABA, 75-76, going out strong, though, 14 points per ball game. Jeff Foster, once the door opened for Foster, now has put a couple of together, while the Clippers, who are trackside, NASCAR this morning, Sundays at 10:30 a.m. right here on Fox Sports Net. 101-83, Indiana looking to stuff this one in their back pocket inside 4 minutes to go. Meanwhile, Chicago at home leading Golden State in the third quarter, 65-48, looking for their third straight since the deal. We've talked about before a deal that has really fit the purposes of both teams, and the fans here in Indiana think for the first time tonight the potential of the Pacers after the trade. And right now on the floor, Brad Miller, Ron Artest, and Kevin Ollie. 3 of the newcomers finishing it out for Isaiah Thomas.
They have really played well and consistent at both ends of the floor this evening.
Here's Artest, Brad Miller, Foster, who has been on a scoring tear. 3 straight for Foster.
He says it's time for me to do my job.
I've been rebounding. I've been pounding all night long. 14 rebounds for Foster before he scored his first points.
He gives you so much effort. He's so fun to watch because he never lets up. He's a constant on-the-go player. That's fun to watch.
Well, you could be talking about Foster or Elton Brand with that comment. Foster actually missed his first 9 shots tonight before hitting his last 3. Artest putting the ball on the floor, finds Foster. Don't pass it up, Jeff. Well, he did pass to Brad Miller. That's what he'll tell us later. 103-85, Indiana. Pacers starting tonight with a record of 26-28. And a game behind Charlotte, and a game and a half out of that last playoff spot with Toronto, Philadelphia, and Washington all tied. 3-way deal there for the last 3 spots for the playoff race. First 8 teams in the conference head on into the playoffs. 2 minutes to go, 2 seconds on the shot clock. Artest with a near save. So Indiana tonight with Reggie Miller tying a season-high 27 points. Jermaine O'Neal having 22. Brad Miller with 14. Ron Artest with 13. Jonathan Bender with 13 points. 5 men in double figures, and Isaiah Thomas now making the final changes. A standing ovation for the Pacers coming off the floor. And Primoz Brezec, along with Jamison Brewer, the 2 rookies, and Bruno Sundorf on the floor to close it out for the final minute and 40. McGinnis, who's been the high man with 23, tied with Brand for the Clippers. The Clippers in the 3rd game of a 5-game road trip. Jamison Brewer, who scored only 4 points this year, passing up the shot. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Sundorf will not pass up a shot. That is a given.
Brewer wanted that so badly.
Too much time left on the shot clock, and now directing traffic. Kevin Ollie looking as if he's been here all season, taking charge. And Earl Boykins inside the final minute. Artest. Nice no-look by Brezec to set up Sundorf. Primoz Brezec looked like he would be getting into the rotation a little earlier in the season, but now with the deals of Primoz in his first year, probably understands the story. Well, he may not understand it, but he understands it.
Yes.
Timeout taken now, is there, or is just a 3 seconds defensive violation, and that'll be a technical foul. So the diminutive Earl Boykins at 5'5" in his 4th season out of Eastern Michigan. He was a 4th-round draft pick, Billy, not in the NBA, but in the CBA. So what a story that is. And making it, and he provides a little bit of a change when Alvin Gentry needs it, a spark off the bench when he plays. 5 teams in his 4 years, many trips to the CBA, but a great story, just like Kevin Ollie, of perseverance, especially at 5'5", kind of the universal hero around the NBA. Sundoff is called for the foul, very much like Muggsy Bogues. Billy Keller in the ABA.
Gosh, he would make me look big.
Great story.
I would be tall out there now.
Kind of want to get right back out there.
I'll tell you. Did you notice what number he was wearing?
Number 11. Number 1 by Billy Keller. I think the last 11, though, before Tinsley put it on, I think
they had to give it to a big guy, didn't they?
Well, they wanted him to follow in the footsteps of Billy Keller. And Billy, it's been great having you join us tonight. Terrific job, and
thank you. I've really enjoyed it. This is you are a professional, and it's you made this so much fun for me and an enjoyable situation. It's been great to be here.
Well, it's terrific to have you with us and witnessing the coming together of this new look Indiana Pacers in their second try, but they get Reggie Miller back tonight, and not only does he spread the defense, but on the way, Reggie scores what's on the back of Primoz Brezet's 27 points, a season high for Miller. You knew he would be wound up having to miss last night's game because of the suspension, and that is painful for Reggie to know his team is playing and he can't be out there. You know, he's missed 3 games over the last 3 years. Suspension this year, the suspension last year for the gum throwing incident against the Knicks. And the year before that, Larry Bird, as the team hit the #1 spot in the Eastern Conference, the last game of the season rested Reggie Miller. And those are 3 games he's missed in 3 years. At the age of 36, wants to play in every ball game.
Well, and then on top of that, last night to lose, you could tell that tonight his attitude was going to be, we're not going to be denied.
Well, the Los Angeles Clippers made a run. They pulled to within 6 here in this 4th quarter after trailing by as many as 22. But the Indiana Pacers just wearing down the Clippers as we went on and win it going away 106-88. And right now, Scott Hoke on the floor along with Reggie Miller and Ron Artest.
All right, Al, thank you very much. Reggie, everybody in the building could tell that for a couple of reasons you were very anxious for this game. The suspension last night and getting a chance to play with these new guys.
Well, you know, I had 2 practices with them, and I knew the team intensity was much higher in those 2 practices. And, you know, it was unfortunate that I couldn't play yesterday. And they got out the gates pretty well against Cleveland in our first quarter, but, you know, kind of the bottom fell out. So I was kind of anxious to get out tonight and see if I can blend in a little bit better.
A couple of big runs in this ball game kind of put it away for you, although the Clippers got within 6. How different was it? What was it like for you to have different guys on the court and have things mesh like they did tonight?
Well, you know, Ron Artest is a great defender, and he brings a lot of intensity. And him, Kevin Ollie, and I think Jamal Tinsley did a great job of pressuring up their men. We got a lot of steals, and it starts on the defensive end with us. Yes, we added a lot of scoring, but we've added some great defensive hustle from this guy right here.
All right, Reggie, we'll let you get to the locker room real quick. Thanks for the visit. Good work tonight. Ron Artest, first of all, what was it like to team with Reggie Miller finally?
It was fun, you know, Reggie just gives us he just completes our whole team, you know, and we got a great team, and if we just play together defense and offensively, we're going to keep getting wins like this.
I know it wasn't really the storybook game last night to win the game in your first appearance here, but tell me about getting this win tonight and having things come together a little better.
It felt good to get this one. We needed this, and we got a bunch of scorers and a bunch of tough guys, and it just felt good to get a win finally in Indiana, and we go on this road trip, and hopefully we pull off about 4 in a row.
And remember, the LA Lakers are coming up next Friday. You guys, you former Bulls, have already beaten them twice this year.
I mean, we just play hard, play tough. We didn't back down, and we pulled away with the victory, so hopefully we can do the same thing.
All right, Ron Artest, nice work again tonight. Two nights in a row of 13 points for the Pacers.
He played 32 minutes, and he is a stat stuffer, including 2 from downtown. And there he goes, coast to coast with the left hand. Ron Artest, the Subway sub of the game tonight for the Indiana Pacers. Final score, Pacers 106, Clippers 88. We'll return with our final
party due to overcrowding.
Indiana Pacers.
Well, I was very much impressed with their unselfish play. You know, you have 3 guys that are coming in, playing in 2 games, 1 game with Reggie Miller, and it almost looks like they've been here all season. And that's a credit to the professionalism of these 3 coming in, as well as the professionalism of the players that are here. That's impressive. And I think they're filling a lot of gaps that have been an Achilles heel this year with the new ones coming in, and this is going to be a fun end of the season as we go through it.
All right, Pacers trying to inch closer to that playoff spot. Let's take a look at some of the statistics in tonight's game, and there were quite a few of them as the Pacers put 106 points on the board. They shoot 48% from the field. Both teams hitting 6 3-pointers. Indiana showing you the muscle on the boards. 19 offensive rebounds, although the Clippers went through that stretch early in the 4th quarter where they could not be denied on the boards, and that results in their 27 second chance points to 20 by Indiana. Pacers get 26 points off the bench, half of those by Ron Artest, and then points off of turnovers, compliments essentially of Ron Artest. And there are the leading scorers. Pacers with a couple of players hitting 20 or more, and Elton Brand, a monster ball game, 23 points, 21 rebounds. Also Jeff Foster, 14 boards for Indiana. So that wraps it up. Pacers now head onto the road. They'll be in Golden State Monday, Phoenix Thursday, Lakers Friday, Sacramento Sunday, before returning home against Orlando a week from Tuesday night. For Billy Keller, thanks Billy for joining us. Scott Hoke, this is Al Albert. Final score again, Pacers 106, Clippers 88.